So I never make live videos, but like I said, I want to just use my voice because I have one and I want to use it more often. So over the past, I would say like 2 years, I've really been focusing on my own healing journey, and over the last few months it's been more focused towards my spiritual journey, going to church and things of that nature. And when I was a little girl, my grandmother had me in church, so like just kind of getting back to where things kind of started. And I want to say something about like when your enemy is against you type of thing. God shows me through each of my sessions, like every kid I work with is like me at some point of my lifespan, even at my adult age. Like at some point, like I've done the things that they're doing, and I realized it either that day or later on. And one of my kids, she is a victim of sexual trauma, and she says that people judge her and criticize her, and no one can make her feel worse than she makes herself feel. And that's the truth. Like the self-loathing, the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment and all the other feelings that go with that, especially when it goes untreated, no one can make you feel worse than you make yourself feel. I carry like this shame with me for like 30 years. So when people say these awful things about me or try to do awful things to me, like it doesn't do anything, because you can't make me feel worse than I felt. You can't do anything that's worse than I've done. I've always been able to get good grades and interact with people and present well, and it just came out in other ways, impulsive and bad decisions and bad relationships and other type of reckless behavior that could have took me out of here at any time, even having those type of thoughts. But the point of the message is I survived. And the reason why I work with kids is because I want them to know you can survive too. An adult can too if they choose to. It's just harder sometimes for us as adults to be able to connect the dots. I realized that my abandonment issues were like so heavy. Like that was more of a problem for me than the trauma, sexual assault stuff. I don't want people I love to leave, so I let them do whatever they want. Talk to me crazy. I ignore a lot of stuff. I say yes to everything, even though I want to say no, and then they still find fault. The one time I can't show up, the one time I can't take it anymore and I blow up, I'm going to be silent, so I don't say anything. Like, it's always a problem. So because it's going to always be a problem, I need to address it. And then on the flip, because I try to be balanced these days, we as the people-pleasing, no boundary having, can't say no people, can't get upset with people because we made a choice to not address their bad behavior, and we continue to allow it, sending the message that it was okay, even though the emotionally manipulative person may already know that it wasn't okay. Oh, you gonna let me do it? I'm gonna do it again. Oh, you gonna still let me do it? I'm gonna do it again. But the point of all of it is everybody in the situation probably needs some healing. We all come from some form of, trauma, and it doesn't have to be, intense. It doesn't have to be, a physical abuse thing or an emotional abuse thing or even a sexual abuse thing. It could be you witnessed an extreme car accident. It could be you moved cities or states, your senior year your freshman year of high school or 8th grade or whatever. Like, it can be anything that caused you some major upset. And depending on how old you are, depending on like cultural things, generational things, there's a lot of stuff that goes into what shapes us as young people. Even how your caregivers speak to you or interact with each other. If you don't have stability, if people are not communicating with you, if people aren't checking in with you about what is happening in your home, outside of your home, in the community, at school, wherever, a lot just goes into what shapes us. But you can be resilient, you can be strong, you should have pride, Every day that you wake up is a blessing. Every day that you have the ability to learn something new, to grow, and to be the best version of yourself. It's all about what are your intentions. Adding in God for me was just like the icing on the cake. That's what I was missing. I've been around women who, not to, you're not supposed to be there. There's only one God, but I've been around in Jesus, but I've been around women that make water out of wine all the time. That always, show up. But is it fair? Is it fair to have to, always show up for other people and suffer in silence? No, it's not. And then the takeaway is that, kids' life should be fair, and a lot of us didn't have fairness when we were children. Some of our parents didn't, our grandparents didn't, and it's up to us to break these curses. It's up to us to stop the cycle of trauma within our families. It's up to us to say no more, we're not doing this, we're done. Because every kid deserves everything that we can give them to be successful in the world, because there are already all of these things that are stacked up against them, especially when you talk about, this world that we're about to go into. So I want everybody to just think and make good choices, because you could be whatever you want to be. You could be whoever you need to be, and you have to just use discernment, and you have to have strong boundaries. And when things don't feel right, trust your gut and walk away from them. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be reactive. You just have to make good choices. Be the best version of you. Every day is an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and be better than the day before. There is a lesson in everything. Everything is a teachable moment. If you can't listen and you can't be taught, you just make life harder than it needs to be. Okay?